What's up, guys? It is the Sportster Brad Walker, and welcome inside the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Radio. I will be joined momentarily by my co-hosts Adam Mangold and Louis Tenyer. Welcome, guys, in. Hopefully, everyone out there is having a good Thursday. As you can see, I still have pixels, and I got a camera, guys. I finally got my camera, and I think I figured out why I still have pixels. So I have pixels because I don't have it illuminated enough in here, so I'm going to get a lamp to illuminate this, and everything should be okie dokie. Real quick, guys, like I said, hopefully we're closer to the weekend. One more day and it'll be Friday. Real quick, guys, if you still want some In the Zone gear, guys, head over to squadlocker.com. Type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio. The website will present itself, and you can order some Zone gear. Get your own Zone gear because it's good stuff, guys. It really, honestly, is good stuff. I am also sponsored, guys, by creatingzenspaces.com, the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. Remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. All right, guys. Adam is here, so let me go ahead real quick and bring up my notes real quick, and then we will get this part started. All right, let's bring him on here.
Hey, Bradley, how are we doing tonight?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad. Had to go grab my drinks.
No problem. I think I finally figured out, buddy, why I still got pixels. I've been fooling around with the camera, and I still got pixels. I think I know why. I don't have enough light, so I gotta get light. I've been doing some research, and it has to be well lit up, illuminated. So I have to get some light, and I
get
think
another.
Go. Unfortunately, I'll be out of town next Thursday, so I won't have a show next week. Right. But yeah, I got to get some light. If I get some light, I think I'll be set and ready to go.
Sweet.
For there, but
sounds
yeah,
good.
Man, everything's going good, man. How about you?
Everything going good? Not bad. Redoing the flooring, so I'm downstairs tonight.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, I'm still waiting, buddy, for you to do the show from your cigar bar.
I gotta go talk to those guys. I haven't made it up there yet. Okay. Working on it though.
Because I was like,
hopefully this Saturday.
Wait for that night for you to come, and there'll be people behind you and stuff like that.
Hopefully this Saturday I'll be able to make it up there. We'll see.
Alrighty then. Well, I guess we can wait for Lewis here real quick until he pops in here.
Yeah.
Anything major, bud, going on? I mean, I don't think anything major going on my end.
Not here.
Nothing new.
Just having a little dinner.
Not a problem. Not a problem. What are you eating, dude? If you don't mind me asking.
I made pork.
Nice.
Yeah, pork ribs.
Nice.
Boneless pork ribs.
Nothing wrong with that.
I slow roasted them in the oven while I was upstairs working on the flooring.
Okay. Gotcha.
And they're quite tasty. I'm quite starving.
Nothing wrong with that, man. Everything. Nothing wrong with that. All right, let's see here. Add him in here real quick. Hey, Lewis, what's going on?
Evening, fellas.
How's it doing, Lou?
All right.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get this started. I have somebody. Oh, okay. That's okay. I wanted to make sure I see a private chat thing. I'm like, okay, who's in there? I know Jim used that last week, but I'm like, I don't think
that was me.
We haven't. Yes, yeah.
That was me.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's cool. All right, guys, real quick, we're gonna go ahead and start with the UFC. So we have storylines coming up with UFC 257 this weekend.
Yes.
Of course, Conor McGregor is the headliner against Dustin Poirier. This is in Fight Island in Abu Dhabi, which means it'll be an early morning pay-per-view. Now, one of the announcements was made. I was reading, guys. I don't know if you guys got a chance, but Khabib said that he is not coming back to fight, even though Dana White has approached him. He says that it's not important to him. What is your guys? I mean, I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago that money talks, obviously, and everyone has their price.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Do you think that he still says no, or
if he's happy on the sidelines, if he doesn't want to, then I can't blame him. If he's not, if his heart isn't in it, then I wouldn't want to do it.
Right, exactly. I mean, if you lost your passion for it, which I think he has, and considering his age, I think and he's done. I think he's done everything in the world of UFC. So what's left to prove? I say if he wants to walk, let him. But Dana White doesn't really take no for an answer that easily, does he? Especially when it is the top drawer, in the sport.
Yeah,
hold on to that.
I was gonna say, Lewis, I agree with you. I think he doesn't take no for an answer. I think he's gonna do everything he can to get him to come back in the ring. But all Khabib's got to do is say, you know what, I don't need this anymore. I've done everything I need to do, and there's no way to come back.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because they've been talking about that, about him coming back. So,
and with him still being such it'd be different if he was kind of washed up. He hadn't won a fight in 5 years, and he had he lost 3 of his last fights, or 3 of his last 5 fights is what my brain was thinking. But with him still being on the top of his game and being relatively young, I think he was 32, 34.
Yeah,
30. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
I can understand why Dana White wouldn't want to let him go. But I mean, I think he's got a couple of young kids too, and when you're in that line of work, it's not a long career. You don't do it for 50 years, and you don't do it at the highest level for very long. And if you can get out while you're on top, you might as well.
Before your body really takes a beating.
Before you're 44 and can't remember your kids' names.
Yeah. Before you get the early stages of CTE.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Early onset Alzheimer's.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, because
I hate to see.
Go ahead, bud.
I hate to see him go, but he's got to do what's right for him and his family. Yes. I'm not gonna say no. I mean, and conversely, if there was a guy who was in his mid-40s who still wanted to go and was more than capable of, even if he was losing every fight, if he wanted to fight, let him fight.
Yeah. No, I agree. Again, see, and that's another thing too. I think there are some guys that get to that point where, they've done everything they can in their respective sport, and they say, you know what, family's more important, my life is more important, stepping away, and I can't argue with it either. You know what, if he wants to step away, let him step away. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
Look at Andrew Luck. He had 8 concussions in 10 years?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
and everyone complained when he left. Everybody. Yeah. They're always afraid and scared.
We did that in the middle of the game.
Yeah. I mean,
he's not scared. He knew he had his head right before he got really bad for him. And
yeah.
Yeah, but I think that right in the middle of a game, though.
It was preseason. It was halftime during the preseason.
That's right.
Yeah, when he finally decided that he had enough.
But don't you think maybe if you're just getting tired, maybe he should have done it before the game started? I don't think that was a wise move. You should have done before, maybe after the game, not in the half. I mean, you're there to finish the game, but then decide to retire.
It was the preseason, so he wasn't coming back out for the second half anyway.
All right, well now.
And maybe he wanted to give it one last shot, see what, and then he decided, hey, I'm done. This is it. This is all I've got. And before I get, and then I'll give you guys a couple of weeks to try and, of course, you leave your team scrambling in the preseason.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to do what's right for you.
Yes.
Yep, I agree with that. I mean, so we'll go ahead, guys. We'll talk about obviously. There is a card. So it looks like, I don't know if Poirier will serve as, so the guy that is facing Conor McGregor in the light heavyweight division, obviously. Now I'm assuming that they'll make him, if he doesn't come back, the belt will be put up and they'll go ahead
I would think so, yeah.
Have a tournament or have some kind of way of getting Okay.
Right.
I would imagine. So I would imagine it would go up for grabs, and you would have a number one contenders
Their match. Okay.
Yeah, probably even you might even have a tournament over the spring, and then and then have a fight in the late summer. And, kind of wrap up the summer.
Yeah.
Big
kind
paper.
of a big pay-per-view, kind of like what WWE does when their championship is vacant. I don't know how the UFC is going to handle it, but that would be to create intrigue and buzz for a midsummer, late summer fight. And not only that, but to build buzz for all of the other fights throughout the beginning of the year, when people aren't really may or may not want to go buy, put $80 or $90 on a pay-per-view.
I want to see if I can try to stream it for free. I did try to do it once before. I don't think it worked.
If there's an interesting fight, I go to the cigar bar, and usually I call ahead and see if they're gonna get it, and then if they get it, then I go down there and hang out and watch the fight and have a smoke and drink a beer or two. It's a good time.
Depends on the beer.
They got some good stuff there.
Just kidding.
Hey, you know what? If that floats your boat, go for it. You know what? That's how I look at it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to have somebody to hang out and watch the fights with.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. Well, going solo sucks. Now, I don't care what sport you're watching. Going by yourself, unless you know somebody at the bar, or the bartender or the employees there. Yeah, it sucks to go by yourself, and you have no one to talk to. You have I can do this. At least we have each other to feed off of on here.
Makes it so good.
When you're by yourself,
really
on Monday nights I'm by myself, so I don't have anyone to coerce with. So
you gotta bring your energy.
Yeah.
Have a Red Bull beforehand.
Well, when I restarted doing broadcasting 20 years ago, I was doing music, and for the most part, I was by myself. Well, I had someone help start me with the first few weeks, but then I got the hang of it, and although I did allow people into the studio.
Music's a little bit easier to do because you're not, you have, X amount of minutes before were you doing broadcast radio to terrestrial radio, or was it an online thing?
This was before I knew about online radio. This was talking 20 years ago.
So it was terrestrial radio, so over the airwaves.
I don't think online radio existed yet.
So, it's a little bit easier when you're doing. I've done some broadcasting music, and it's a little bit easier than doing sports talk because you have the music you're playing, the music you've just played, the music coming up, and then you got 2 or 3 minutes of air to fill in between each segment.
Well, yeah, get the record.
Whereas with right, I didn't. All I had to do, I've done internet radio, so all I had to do is click a button to add the next song to the playlist. But
this was back before the 21st century started rolling,
Right.
Man,
but unlike sports broadcasting where you've got to keep the energy up and you don't have any kind of break in between.
Right.
It's really nice to have co-hosts to play off of.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, I've gone this long, so
right.
5 years, 8 years altogether.
Yeah, the first fight is in the women's strawweight division, and again, guys, bear with me because if I butcher these names, I apologize. Amanda Ribas versus Marina Rodriguez, and it looks like Ribas is the favorite to win the fight. She's 10-1 against Rodriguez, who's 12-1-2 in that particular fight there. The next one is Ottoman Avakar, versus Matt Ferlio. This is a light heavyweight in the men's division, and it looks like Alvazar is 13-0, and Ferlio is 8-1-1, and obviously Alvazar is the favorite in Vegas. Joanne Calderwell versus Jessica Ai. That's the women's flyweight, and Caldwell's 14-5. Ai is 15-8. I've heard of her, and Ai is actually the underdog in this fight. So all the money's going to Calderwood. Then you have Dan Hooker versus Michael Chandler. That's a light heavyweight. Hooker is 20-9, 21-5. Hooker's the favorite.
Oh boy. Yeah,
Yeah, McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. McGregor's the favorite at 22-4. Poirier is 26-6. So
What's the what are the odds?
It's minus 330 versus plus 260 for Poirier. So I don't know, buddy, how do they score that? Is it by total score? I don't know how
I would think so. I'm not sure what.
Okay, I don't know how they score UFC fights with how you gamble on a fight. You have to have. Maybe in the future we'll have a handicapper come on here and explain.
That'd be great. That'd be fun. I would imagine it's probably you got to factor in history, number of rounds, and probably expected rounds.
Yes.
I think I don't know. If I had $100, I might put it on the underdog.
I mean,
and it's not. It's
a good turnaround.
It is. I mean, I don't know if he's going to win. Of course, McGregor being the favorite, McGregor is McGregor, but he's been stopped a couple of times, so that's why they have the fights. I mean,
twice. Yeah, I think Khabib's beat him twice. I think he beat a couple times by a few of the fighters. So yeah,
he's got 4 losses. I know 2 of them are to Khabib, but I'm not sure who the other 2 are. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, you're probably right. Because what is it? How many? Isn't it like 3-minute rounds? I don't know how many.
Is it? It might be 5-minute rounds.
I think it's 4 minutes.
It's 3 5. It's either 3 5-minute rounds or 5 3-minute rounds. I'm not sure.
Okay. 3 5-minute rounds. Yeah, 3 5-minute.
Is it 3 5-minute rounds?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not a title fight. A title fight is 5 5-minute rounds.
So that's how. Okay, so I didn't know that either. That's something.
Yeah, I know that from playing UFC 3. It's kind of fun.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Gotcha.
Great.
All right. Well, that's optional. We can go back over this, guys, next week.
Yeah, in a couple weeks. Yeah,
a week after. Yeah. Talk about who won and all that stuff like that.
Right.
This is actually on the show 2 weeks in a row.
I know. I saw that.
I know that Major League Soccer would be listed, but I'm going to read a letter that was written by the commissioner, Don Garber, to all the fans. So here we go. On behalf of everyone at Major League Soccer and our clubs, I hope that despite the challenges we continue to face in 2021 and your families are having a happy, safe, and healthy start to the year, while the victory by the Columbus Crew SC in MLS Cup just over a month ago, we concluded the most remarkable year in our 25 seasons. I truly appreciate everything that our players, staff, officials, and our ownership did to get through this year. I want to thank all of our fans for continued support of our club during a difficult season. For all of you that we've achieved together, we can proudly say that the 2020 MLS season will be remembered forever. Today, we turn the page to look ahead to 2021 with the MLS Super Draft presented by Adidas as our new expansion club, Austin FC, makes its first overall selection. That's incredible energy around Austin as the club has sold out its season tickets. Congratulations, Austin.
Wow.
And we'll debut this spring in world-class stadium that reflects the spirit of their community. We will also open 2 new stadiums in Ohio for FC Cincinnati and Columbus Crew SC. Congratulations to Ohio.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So all the excitement that comes with the launch of a new soccer season, the COVID-19 pandemic is still very much with us and brings a great deal of uncertainty. I know all fans missed being able to attend matches last season, and it's certain that there will be significant limitations on attendance this year. Unlike other leagues and abroad, we are hit harder financially when our fans cannot attend games. Coming out of the pandemic is the strongest possible position will continue to require everyone in MLS to work together. Last year focused on all of us to make tough decisions and endure the new and difficult challenges. We are forced to reduce our staff at the league and club level, and we'll be reducing salaries. That's to come. We made significant budget cuts to allow us to fund key initiatives like the MLS is VAP tournament to continue to pay our players 95% of their salaries. Wow, that's awesome. That's pretty damn cool. And then it says our players are facing new challenges as well with a revised schedule that had them away from their families for weeks on end and enduring a new pandemic-related health and safety protocol. As we look ahead to a second tough season this year, we met with the MLS Players Association and their player representatives in early January to talk about how we can deal with the ongoing challenges that the pandemic and the impact of MLS for a second year. Looks like they provide players 100% of their salaries as a proposal in return for a 2-year extension of MLS collective bargaining agreement. I'm proud of the solution that our ownership has presented. The MLS ownership takes the risk and financial losses while protecting the long-term stability of our league. Like you, we are all eager to begin the season this coming March. We presented our proposal to the MLSPA 2 weeks ago and look forward to receiving a response. We already to meet with the MLSPA players in the coming days to reach an agreement and worked on a short and long-term benefit for all. We are confident that these challenging times, MLS will preserve and emerge stronger than ever. And we thank you for your support. That is a pretty damn good letter written by a commissioner, and how he kind of fine detailed everything in that letter with the fans and everything. That's pretty damn cool. I have to admit that.
I'll say one thing. Why didn't the NASL soccer think of that 40 years ago? They'd probably still be in business.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. At least MLS, they're doing the right thing. I mean, because I know you guys are old to remember that old league, but that had some pretty powerful teams like in New York, Chicago. Well, the Cosmos pretty much ruled NASL soccer, but there was a lack of teams that were just as good, and that's probably why the league folded, because they lost a lot of money in that. At least with this league, they're trying to come up with something of a plan that can make them more financially stable.
Yeah.
On top of that, they're going to be able to still pay their players 95% of their salary. That's awesome, man.
That's nothing the old league couldn't do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd sign up tomorrow if I was guaranteed 95% of my salary in a COVID year. Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt about that. We don't play professional sports. I didn't lose any money either, but I'm just saying in a sport like that where you're going to have limited attendance and you're still going to be able to make your salary, I take that in a heartbeat.
It's also amazing too that they had everybody had their own playoff system, like the NHL had theirs and the NBA and this, but they waited a while before the season came back. When MLS did their tournament and it was over, they went right back to the regular season just as normal, minus a few weeks here and there. So they really, it's a shame they don't get a lot of notice because, 95% of the U.S. Americans don't really care about soccer. Well, the MLS itself, but they were able to pick up right where they left off before all this crapola happened, and I gotta give them a lot of credit for going back out there and resuming. Right after their tournament. I thought maybe they would have waited. Well, let's see. The tournament was in June, and then it started and in July, and they went right back to it. Everybody else waited. Well, let's see. The NHL ended in late September, and they didn't get back until last week because they were arguing,
bickering.
Yeah, and that NBA, we need more time to practice. We got to wait till January. Of course, now they're going through their own problems with, the virus. So, but I got to give them credit, for coming back just like 2 weeks after the tournament ended.
You know what we'll do, Lewis, once it starts in March, I think we'll just have to go through again, I'm not big on it. I don't know a lot about it, but it's always cool to learn new things. So yeah, absolutely. We'll cover the scoreboard and stuff, and you can let us know who the hot players are. If we could get someone to come on from that league, hell yeah, I'd welcome it in every day of the week. If somebody wants to come on and talk to them,
we can get the play guy Andreas Cantor. Oh no.
No, no. We can have him say goal.
It's lousy English, but he speaks English.
No, it's okay. That's okay. That's fine.
We can work around it.
Absolutely.
That's okay. You probably think, hey, you speak lousy Spanish. Okay, I admit it.
No habla español.
Yeah.
Exactly. But not fluent enough.
Here we go.
Oh boy, we're gonna have fun this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's already off to a good start.
Absolutely.
You go through our show.
yeah. If you guys can't see the picture, I'm moving to my left so you can see the boxing glove sitting behind me.
You play boxing?
Yeah. I got some boxing news. Actually, it looks like they're going. Joshua Fury is going to happen sometime this year. That's what they're pushing. I've read that a couple different places that's
good. That's going to be a hell of a fight.
Oh
yeah.
Can't wait for that one.
So that definitely is still in the works. Obviously, it says obviously they're still talking about Floyd Mayweather and Paul brother is fighting him. Logan Paul.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
Mayweather.
I'm intrigued.
Yes.
So that definitely is another fight that obviously is. I thought that one's already been finalized, right?
Yeah, it should be in a couple weeks. I think it's like middle of February, end of February.
Okay, let me see if they give
the exact date.
I don't see it.
Like February 19th or something like that. I'm not sure.
That's a Friday.
See a date. It says I don't see a date for that, but it does talk about. It says Joshua Fury will be the biggest fight in 2021, and it says real or not. It says real. I don't like talking about fights that have been talked about so unremittingly for so damn long. Yeah. But obviously, they believe it is going to happen. So, in fact, it will happen 99% sure, according to many sources. So I'm wondering who the 1% is that
right
to happen. That's
me.
Interesting. 1% that doesn't want it to happen.
February 20th.
20th. Okay, so that's okay. Well, then make sure you remind me, bud, and we'll talk about that fight on that Thursday because the 20th is probably on a Saturday. I'm assuming, right?
It was either a Saturday or a Sunday.
Saturday.
Yeah, whatever previous Thursday that is, we'll talk about that fight that night.
Yeah, sounds good.
I was going to say on a Friday, that's a little unusual, but
I knew it was somewhere in the middle of February.
Right.
Then it says, real or not, Adrian Broner will fight for a title in 2021.
No.
Oh, there it is. Okay, real or not, Mayweather, Logan Paul takes sideshow fights too far. It says not real. In fact, it doesn't take things far enough.
No, I love it. I think it's going to be great for the sport. I mean, I don't think Logan Paul, and it's going to be an exhibition fight, much like the Tyson Jones fight. But
that one again.
That was a good fight. I mean, it was fun. It was an exciting fight. And that's what boxing needs. Is boxing needs fighting. The fights to be fun and exciting and interesting. They need young, brash, loudmouth stars.
Not senior citizen boxers.
and if Logan can hold his own against a veteran like Mayweather, if he doesn't get tattooed in the first 2 rounds, if he can get in there and have a decent fight and show some promise, show some skill, he's there. The Paul brothers have a huge following outside of boxing. And if you can get, they have 20+ million subscribers on YouTube alone, several million over on Instagram, and they've got millions. If you can get a 10th of those people that watch their regular nonsense to start watching boxing, you're looking at upwards of 2 million new fans.
Yeah.
And
if let's say you get an extra 500,000 pay-per-view buys, that's a lot of money. That you wouldn't get if it was Mayweather Pacquiao 3 or 4 or whatever they're up to now. People that wouldn't otherwise tune in. Look, I don't want a whole bunch of gimmick fights. I want real fights. I don't want, I understand Paul and Mayweather being an exhibition. That's fine. But really, to sell the brand and sell boxing back to the American people, you've got to sell real fights. And so after this one, they got to tone it down. And I'm really looking forward to Joshua Fury. That's going to be the best. That's got to be fight of the year. It's got to be a candidate for fight of the year already.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're right, but too, because you know what? If they can 9 times out of 10, even if the Paul brothers fans aren't sports fans, they just watch them on YouTube. You can't tell me that they're not going to buy that pay per view. You're damn right they're going to buy that pay per view,
or their dads, or their whoever. And you got Mayweather fans that are going to be there's it's all that crossover that you're looking for, that crossover appeal. And to me, the Paul brothers are very serious about boxing. It's not like a gimmick. It's not a stunt.
Very true.
They train. They're working hard at it, and I respect them as boxers, as someone who's trained boxing. It's a very difficult sport to break in, and they're not old by any stretch of the imagination. They're both in their early 20s, so it's not like. Yeah, I think Jake's 23 or 24. He might be 26. I think he's somewhere in his mid 20s, and Logan's only 21. So it's not like they're on their way out, and they're doing it as a publicity stunt to try and salvage their YouTube careers. They're very serious about boxing. They've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And and I can respect it. I know that they're a sideshow on YouTube, and they're their antics and their nonsense. Okay, fine, whatever. You don't have to like them, but as a fight fan, and watching Logan Paul, or I should say Jake Paul, in his last fight, and the fight before that, I was like, don't sleep on Jake Paul. Don't sleep on your kid's got talent. He's got a mean right hand, and that's he can slip and throw it with the best of them. And unfortunately, in his last fight, which was a comedy match, and a bit of a squash match, because Nate Robertson had no idea what he was doing.
Okay.
Oh God, he comes out of the ring. They ring the bell, right?
Yes.
And he comes out like this, and he goes like that, duh, duh. And I was like, oh, what are we doing here?
Well, wait a minute. Are you telling me that he didn't know
he had any clue what he was doing? He was swinging wild. It was miserable. And poor Jake Paul. And Jake Paul's setting him up, and he's working his combos, and he's got pretty decent footwork, and he lands 3 or 4 hard shots, and it knocks Nate out. And you don't really get to showcase yourself as a boxer when you end up in a squash match like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, if the other guy doesn't know what the hell he's doing, that's stupid.
He looks like an absolute buffoon out there.
Yeah.
And he'd go into he'd run up and he'd throw and he'd throw and he'd throw and he'd wrap up, and it was like trying to wrestle him. It was.
Well, I'm wondering if his trainers told him that, like, just throw a couple shots, or maybe he was told, hey, this is going to be a show, and then someone didn't give Paul that message. Someone said, hey, this is a boxing match for you, but for Nate, it's a show. And maybe that
could have been.
Hey,
he thought it was going to be a
right, and Logan, no, this is not.
This is a fight. Yeah.
This is a fight. So whoever trained you didn't do their freaking job. Yeah.
I mean, it's like my coach told me. When we were getting ready to start sparring, it's like you get hit as hard as you get hit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if you hit, a guy at 60%, he's supposed to hit you back at 60%.
Yeah.
If you throw 90% and you really clock a guy, you better be ready to take a shot back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, Nate was not ready for a fight.
He was not ready at all. No, they should have found another opponent for Jake. So, anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the National Hockey League. It looks like Mr. Ovechkin and 3 others are on the COVID-19 list. The Capitals were fined $100,000 for violations. Looks like there were 3 of them in a hotel room together. And not wearing face coverings. That was what was reported. That's not good, obviously. Yeah, it's a big oop. But yeah, that was the big story. The Capitals are 2-0-2. They're first place in their division. And of course, there are games going on right now as we speak.
Yes.
The Jets are up 4-0 over the Ottawa Senators in the second period. The Jackets are up over the Lightning 1-0. I'm actually watching that game. It's in front of me. The Islanders are up 2-1 over the Devils in the second. And the Flyers are up 1-0 over the Bruins in the second period. Then there's
8 more.
two late games. Montreal's at Vancouver at 9:30, and the Avalanche are at the Kings at 10. It looks like the Panther-Carolina game was postponed, and I'm going to take a big fat guess that that's COVID-related because that seems to be the only reason why hockey games or any kind of sporting event right now gets canceled is because of COVID-related stuff.
Because these people are stupid. They know they're doing what they shouldn't be doing, and they're doing it anyway.
I mean, they're not in the bubble anymore. I don't know if someone just told them that. You're not in the bubble anymore. You got to be safe like everyone else has to be.
No.
We figure, well, we're in the bubble. We survived this, so I think we can go back to normal. No, you can't. You still got to take precautions of it. But if you don't, and you call it that, well, guess what? It's your own fault.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're causing too much chance to play games, and you're disrupting the schedule.
You're putting your team at risk.
Yeah. So
you put yourself and others at risk.
I mean, look at
the
NBA has postponed 20 games so far.
Have they really?
6 alone from Washington. And I know Steve's happy about that. It isn't all 100% safe, and it won't be, for quite some time. So you got to take whatever precautions you have. I mean, if you have to go back to a bubble, yeah, fine, go back to a bubble. Although I think it's how you would work it out right now. It's a little bit it's a little odd because you've already played like 4 weeks into the season. So you'll have to take more careful planning. But you're not playing it smart, and you're causing a lot of disruption. And the more games you miss, the more it's going to be in your head.
Yeah.
True. No, that's 100% true.
But don't be a jackass.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about, it's not so much that they're young, a lot of them. They're in their mid-20s to early 30s. Some of them are a little bit older. Some of them are considerably younger.
Mm-hmm.
But they're all athletes. They're all relatively in shape. They're all relatively young. And they're bulletproof. And they have to be. To play major professional athletics, you have to think you're bulletproof.
Mm.
If you don't think you're bulletproof, you're going to be too scared to go and play. You just got to go play. You can't be worried about getting sick or getting hurt or getting, think about it because you can't think about it. And it's not so much that they're putting themselves at risk, but they're putting other people that are elderly. There are a lot of coaches and personnel that aren't as young as a player might be. There's plenty of coaches in their 50s, 60s, 70s. Some of them with health problems, that have underlying conditions. And so you might be fine. You might get sick for a couple of days. You might be down for a week, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But you'll get better. And you won't really have any long-lasting effects, but a referee, a coach, equipment manager, they might not be so lucky.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have to take all the precautions, because it's not just you that you're putting at risk.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yep.
But with all this going on, you still have to take precaution, even though you say you're quote bulletproof, but you still have to take every necessary precaution there is, because while you might be bulletproof, others are not.
That's exactly what I was saying. And there are a lot of aged members of the staff that aren't players, and coaches and equipment people, and just the general staff that you have to run a hockey team that are in their 60s and 70s, and a lot of them have underlying health conditions that make them vulnerable. And so it's not about just protecting yourself, it's about protecting others too.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm watching the game, right? The Blue Jackets game, and Coach Tortorella's got a mask on his face. That's the first coach I've seen the National Hockey League, wear one on the bench.
Former
Usually.
Ranger coach.
Yeah.
Well, he's in his 60s, I think.
That's
I
what
think
I'm-
he's had a couple of bouts with cancer.
exactly. So
That's
I'm
right.
just going out by that is I think everyone's at risk. I shouldn't say everyone that thinks they're at risk. Everyone's at risk. It just comes down to the fact is you have to do the right thing to protect yourself. Take
And
precautions
others.
on your own. Because again, we don't like wearing a mask, but on the flip side of it, you wear it to protect the other person, not so
Yeah.
much yourself.
Correct.
Right.
So
The mask isn't to protect you, it's to protect the people around you.
correct. So yeah, we'll have to, again, the whole thing. I know Ovechkin, apologized. I think he came out on media and said he apologized. His wife wrote a nasty note to the Capitals for letting it happen. And I'm thinking, letting it happen, your husband should have more responsibility.
Yeah.
Not let it
Yeah.
happen. Wait a minute. You can't blame the organization. They can't control everybody. That's the whole thing. I think that people go, oh, well, it's the organization's fault or it's the league's fault. No, they don't. They can't control everybody.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to hire a bodyguard,
Chaperone?
somebody to follow them around. Yeah, it's not going to
I
happen.
mean, are we gonna have everybody's mom have their mom sign the permission slip?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the National Hockey League. Yeah, there you go.
My mom says I can't go on the field trip, guys. I can't go to any road games.
Yeah.
Man, this sucks.
Yeah, I got to sit out 28 games. I can only sit out
My,
28
my,
games.
my mom said I can't come out and play until I do my chores.
Yeah,
Man, this sucks.
yeah.
We'll do my homework.
I mean,
Your mom just threw away your hockey pads.
think about it. They just Ryan McDonough just tied the game. I was just gonna say to the greatest commissioner in all sports, too. Gary Bettman's right up there. With, no, I'm being facetious when I say that. Yeah, it's,
I got 5 fingers. You know which one.
Yes.
yeah. No, I mean,
I have nothing but animosity for the old man.
Yeah.
well, and the funny thing is, he's so bad, but the owners keep him employed. That's the only.
I mean, he makes them somehow talk about failing upwards.
Yeah.
He has failed his way to the top because he makes them. I don't know how the NHL makes more money than it did 20 years ago when it was the best game in the world. I mean, 02, 2000, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, all 4 or 5 years in there. Yeah, I'm bad at math. Those finals were incredible.
Yeah.
03, even 04, Lightning Flames. 03, 04, Lightning Flames and Ducks Devils. Both went to 7 games. Both had incredible storylines, whether it was Stevens' hit on Korea or no goal.
Yeah.
They had things to talk about. Vincent Lecavalier versus Jerome McGinley in Game 5, a game the Lightning lose. But it jump-starts the Lightning. They end up going back home and winning Game 6, and then they go back to Calgary and win Game 7.
Yeah, all the way around, buddy. They won game
or the other way around, whatever.
Game 7. Yep.
I mean, the 99 final, Game 6 was incredible.
Yeah, it was the end. The screen was the skate in the crease. Of course, it was.
Yeah, and Dom, I don't know if I can tell, but I think Dominic Hodge was cursing in Czechoslovakian. And
I don't think I don't even know what language it was, but it was certainly cursing.
It was Czech.
Buffalo Steelers fans are still have animosity about that.
Yeah. He was in the crease. The rule was if your foot's in the crease, you're in the crease. No goal. No goal. No goal. No goal.
In the morning, I gotta get some sleep. I didn't get some love from my wife the last couple of days. All right, so you're just not gonna let us go home.
No goal. No goal. Play on.
It's a goal. So deal with it.
Well, I mean, there was a goal in the Lightning playing series that was called a no goal.
Yeah, that was no goal.
They crossed the line. So it seems like every Stanley Cup final has one play that could have changed the whole game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Always. That's the way it should be.
Yes. I mean,
it should come down to the players. It never should come down to the ball. That never should come down to
1:30 a.m. in the morning, the bar is closing up, the lights are turned on, and like,
yeah.
are we gonna see this game with a winner, or I gotta wait till the morning when I get up? And like,
I love that song. Love that song.
Come on, Hull scores the goal. I'm like, yes. I'm like, can somebody call the arena and see if we can get this game with? Sure. This guy wants to see if we can get a win. Like, okay, here, done.
Well, thinking back to the Ducks Devils final, how about Jean-Sebastian Giguère winning the Conn Smythe Trophy and then booing him? The friggin' Devils fans booed him. They're like, yeah, you should have won. It should have been Marty Brodeur. Right. I mean, booed him when he won. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird.
I remember him being in tears, just absolutely bawling.
Was in tears.
I was so heartbroken for him. Even though Anaheim had knocked Detroit out, so I was rooting for Jersey. I felt so bad for him.
Mm.
I love those
brother.
Yeah, classics.
The mauve and teal.
Yeah,
that was badass.
Those were great. Those early the early 2000s ones. The early 90s ones, not so much.
Yeah, with
the bright green, green and purple. Those weren't as good.
Yeah, and it was brother against brother that series as well.
Yeah, the Niedermeyer brothers. Yep, Rob and Scott.
Yeah,
correct.
Who did Mom about? That's who won.
From one head commissioner to another.
Yes, to the infamous Rob from Gary to Rob in a quick yeah, I guess the New York fired their general manager, Jared.
Already, huh? Things are off to a rousing start in New York, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah. Says supposedly he sent a female reporter some stuff that you're not supposed to send. I'm not going to go into that.
He sent her sausage pictures.
Correctamundo. That is exactly
he probably should have sprung for the bratwurst then.
Yeah. 15 photos of the hotel and restaurant. The 16th was a bulge in his pants, and number 17 was his sausage. That's what it says. So it says on Tuesday morning, the Mets fired Porter. Tweet by owner Steve Cohen. Now Cohen is the one who's the billionaire that supposedly stole the team from A-Rod and Jennifer Lopez. That's what he says. That's what he says. But just got someone just messaged me about playing golf on Monday morning. But yeah, supposedly he's been fired, so the Mets are gonna have a new. I know the Mets who did they get recently from the Astros? They picked up somebody.
Francisco Lindor, I believe it was.
Lindor.
Indians, okay, that's right.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Because Michael Brantley re-signed, right, with the Houston Astros, the one that re-signed. And Springer, right? George Springer signed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 6 years, $150 million. Wow, that's.
But I know you think that they should have checked his background information first before you hired him. I mean, he was only on the job for a month, and this news comes out like they had to let him go. I mean, you should have dug a little more research into it before you even thought about hiring this guy, who turns to be a whack job. And now he's.
I guess
the background check. I mean,
I was gonna say, I guess he must have passed the original background check, and they said, okay. Then they went back and saw this, and they're like, well, we made a mistake.
Hey.
Well, I thought this was new. Like, this happened before they hired him?
2016.
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, you.
So now you wonder to yourself, too, if you get into a certain position.
Yes.
And all your skeletons come alive.
Like screaming out of the closet with the hair on fire.
And all of a sudden your closet opens up and all your skeletons emerge. And you're like, what am I, now what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So, yep. Yeah.
You got to couple your pants down. Okay. Oh. Ooh.
Literally. Yeah, exactly. What do you guys think of Springer's contract with the Jays? 6 years, $150 million.
Yeah,
They overpaid. They
Overpaid.
overpaid.
way too much.
I probably would have done 125. I think that's more in a reasonable ballpark. 120, 125, somewhere in there. But I don't think Springer's worth 150. I don't think he's all that in a bag of chips. I think he'll probably hit 250 at most. I think he benefited a lot from that Astros lineup and trash cans.
Yeah.
Yep, can't forget about the trash cans.
Yeah, I think trash cans down too.
Can't
Man,
forget about that.
you can't do that here, buddy. You're cheating. I know.
We ain't cheating, you ain't trying, so.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think he did benefit from being in that lineup. And now he's going to a team that's got, 2 or 3 rising stars. I think the Jays they have, with Bo Bichette, Vladdy Guerrero Jr., those guys are all rising stars.
He's got the potential to be a superstar, Vlad Jr.
Yeah.
I loved his dad. His dad was one of my favorite players growing up, as not on the when he was in Anaheim.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Vlad Sr. in Anaheim.
Him won a game once.
What's that?
He got a home run taken away from him once. It was against the Yankees. The game was in the 12th inning, and he thought it was a home run, but they thought it just hit the outside of the foul pole.
Outside of the foul line.
Yeah, and they took the home run away from him. So, and the Yankees actually wound up winning that game. I can't remember that. Wow, back in 1999. Yeah, because Channel 5 here had the game. Yes, I remember it very well.
He was with the Angels because he was with the Expos at one time too before the strike.
Early in his career.
Yeah. Because 94 is what ended Montreal completely, right after the strike.
Yep.
They never recovered, right?
Nope.
No, they were there until like 2006.
Or they
the decline of the Expos happened after.
Yeah. In 94, because the Expos became the Nationals in like 2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're actually ringing attendance numbers of Montreal, and they said the number of spectators at today's game, 5.
Wow, we had people here. Huh. I mean, did people actually pay for a ticket?
It's a hockey town. It's a hockey town.
Yeah, it's very much a hockey town.
A big hockey town. There's no way baseball would survive in a hockey town. Not like that.
No.
Not with a team that was the original 6, has the most Stanley Cups of any franchise. Yeah, no.
Wrong.
Yeah, no. So.
Oh, yeah. But in sports, no.
No. The Yankees have the most of anyone in sports, but the Montreal has the most Stanley Cups of any NHL franchise. I think it's 24. I think is what they have. I think 24 Stanley Cups.
3 against the Kings.
Yeah.
Last Canadian team to win a cup.
Yeah, they were the last Canadian team to win a cup. This year, we'll bound to have some Canadian teams in the playoffs because there's a division, so they're going to be there at the end of it when it's all done.
Well, they make the finals. That's to be determined.
That's to be determined. Yeah, I mean, I think I had discussed this with my good friend who's a big hockey fan, bigger than me, and he actually said the best Canadian team that he had this year was between Calgary and Montreal, were the 2 that he thought was going to be in it when it was all said and done.
I would think Vancouver would have to be up there.
Vancouver was was his 3rd pick, so they're right there. I
haven't been following it as close. I haven't had TV for the last 3 days. I'm remodeling my bedroom, so I had to take my TV down and put it up. And I've been binge watching YouTube while I sleep. So I don't have TV, so I haven't been following it as closely as I would have otherwise.
Right.
We're watching YouTube.
Yeah. I love YouTube.
We're watching TNT.
Nothing wrong with watching YouTube. All right.
But I don't. Do we? So are we still taking the over on the NMLB starting in April?
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening either.
No, I heard something.
Okay, go ahead.
they might be thinking of keeping those rules they had from last season.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Yeah.
I like the NL having the DH. I think they should have done that 50 years ago. I hate pitchers batting. I just can't. I can't. Who wants to watch a guy who comes up to the plate twice in 5 days hit 098?
Traditionally,
It's not good baseball.
No.
That's not good. And if you have the rare exception like Ohtani there with the Angels, then okay, that's fine. You can bat him. I don't mind that. But I don't want to watch a guy who's 2 for 37 in his last 27 games.
2 for 37.
Because he only gets 2 at bats. He'd be even worse if he got more.
Yeah, but you're 2 and 37. I mean, you don't even. I think you should be sent to the minors.
As a pitcher's batting.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
pitchers.
That's something different.
Yeah, I just hate pitchers batting. I've always, and I'm an AL guy. I grew up in Detroit, in Michigan. I grew up with the Tigers. We were an AL team. We've had the DH. I've had the DH for my entire life, and the DH doesn't take anything away other than the double switch, which double switches are stupid.
Yes.
I've never liked pitchers batting. It's not 1926 anymore, guys. The Murderer's Row is long gone. I believe none of those guys are even alive anymore.
Well,
Time to kill the pitcher hitting.
Yeah.
Let a guy who is actually halfway decent at it hit, and let pitchers pitch. And on the rare occasion where you have a pitcher that can hit, okay, you can hit him. But for the most part, pitchers need to pitch.
Yes. And batters need to bat.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I think the people that want to keep it the way that it is now are the traditional baseball fans. Now, again, they are also one of those that, like you said, they don't adapt. They want to keep it the way it is. They don't want to adapt. Yeah. So, yes. And the other thing that a universal DH does too is it will give a hitter who can't play the field anymore another chance to still play.
A spot to play. And it also levels the playing field in the playoffs.
Yes. You don't have
where the AL team has an incredible disadvantage when they go to the NL Park.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's just not fair. You shouldn't.
No.
The NL team, you already got home field. So, and then you get a double advantage because you have the pitcher batting. And the AL team whose pitcher doesn't bat during the regular season
at all.
He might bat 3 times in the 4 or 5 games that he plays when they're playing interleague play, and that's if he's pitching on the road. Mm-hmm. It's just not fair. I like the runner. I think the runner should be at first, and I think it should start after the 12th inning.
Are they going to keep the doubleheader rule too, where it's only 7?
And the 7. I don't. Baseball 3 and 9.
Okay.
3 strikes, 3 hits, 9 innings, or 3 outs.
They're gonna keep the rules they had back last season. They're gonna keep them, or at least
I don't. I don't mind a runner on. I think a runner should be on after the 12th and the start of the top of the 12th, and he should be on first base. And I think they should. I can see for the 2021 season doing the 7-inning double headers, but I think that should go back to 9 innings when we get out of the pandemic and we don't have to worry about having 37 games canceled in one day.
Well, don't forget the collective bargaining disagreement. Collective bargaining agreement. This
yeah. So we're not having the 2022 season, so you forget all of that.
Bitching about that, no, open the book. No, not open the book. The whole thing's gonna start all over again. So there's gonna be a lot of arguing back and forth. So
yeah,
the 2021 season you screwed up. 2022 looks to be down the toilet.
Yeah, because there's a chance there could be a strike. So yeah, that would be
a lockout.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a lockout.
It's 1994 all over again.
Baseball will shoot itself in the foot.
2013.
Baseball will shoot itself in the damn foot if that's
Kaboom.
With a howitzer.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Not even a 75, one of those 155s.
Yep.
And then they're gonna back the thing over themselves somehow. Whatever's left.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
All right, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about college basketball as we get a little closer to March Madness. Here's the top 25 in the rankings. Gonzaga is still at number 1. Baylor, Villanova, Iowa, Michigan's at 5. Texas, Kansas, West Virginia, Houston, Alabama, Minnesota, Texas Tech, Wisconsin, Tennessee, Creighton, if I pronounce that correct. Creighton, St. Louis, Ohio State, Illinois, Oregon, UCLA, Colorado, Va-Tech, Missouri, Clemson, and Florida State round out. Well, that's 26. So 25 would be Clemson. So anything, guys, in those that jump out at you?
Minnesota's a little bit low. I'm really happy with how my boys are playing, though. Let's go. Let's go blue.
Yeah, well, I had some to look forward to a few weeks ago, but Rutgers has been falling down flat ever since. You know, they were hot in the beginning of the year, and now they just keep just crashing. And they were on the
back
top
to the
10.
Big
They have anything fits.
Rutgers needs to go back to the Big East. Simple as that.
Exactly, but yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, UConn got back at the Big East, and they're improving. So.
Yeah, UConn's coming back.
Yeah, they are. Of course, they're thinking of calling it Catholic 7, of course, too. You know, all the religious universities in the one division, the Catholic 7.
Can someone tell me how Tennessee is still in the top 10 when they got, or still in the top 20, top 15 when they got beat by Florida over on Tuesday?
I have no idea.
Don't forget, the rankings come out Sunday night, so I'm sure it's going to change.
Gotcha. Okay, I was just curious how that.
Yeah.
Sunday night, early Monday morning. So when the rankings come out next week, you're going to see them drop like a rock.
Yeah, I was curious because I know they lost to Florida over the week, this past week. So
the rankings don't change every day; they change every week.
Okay, I was just curious on how they were still ranked where they were at. We'll talk about their football program when we get to right after we talk about college basketball. But here's the scoreboard, guys, from ESPN.com.
Okay.
Penn State is up over Rutgers by 4 points with 48 seconds left to go in the game. Memphis.
What channel?
It looks like it says the Big Ten Network. This is ESPN that I got the scoreboard off of.
Okay, 585 for me.
You have Memphis up over Wichita State by 20 with 30 seconds left, so that's obviously a win for the Tigers. You have South Missouri State losing to Morehead State 67-59. UNLV is all over Benedict 58-25 in the second half. You have Eastern Kentucky over UT Martin 46-39. Belmont is up over Eastern Illinois 36-32 with just the start of the second half.
There are too many college basketball schools, damn it.
Yeah. St. Mary's is 26-24 at the half over Lola Marymount, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Loyola.
Close enough.
Montana State over Northern Arizona 31-26 at the half. Montana's up over Sacramento State. I haven't even heard of them in school. 35.
I tell you, there are too many college basketball teams.
Well, the minor divisions.
Murray State's 27-24 over Jacksonville State. Austin Peay over Tennessee Tech. Excuse me. Northern Colorado over Eastern Washington. And here's the finals. St. Francis over Sacred Heart. Buffalo over Eastern Michigan. New Mexico over San Jose State. Miami of Ohio over Bowling Green. Morgan State over St. Mary's 99-41. Oh, cow.
Jeez.
No contest.
Akron beat Central Michigan 67.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, Taylor.
Mount St. Mary's beat Central Connecticut 67-57. Merrimack beat Farlight Dickinson. If I'm even
Wow, I've never even heard of them.
Bradley.
Holy-
That's from my home state, New Jersey. It's Fairleigh Dickinson University, or as we like to call it, Fairly Ridiculous.
Yeah, they're 2-7. They're 2-7 and 1-2 in their conference. That's
Bunch of losers.
Wow. I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I do mean to laugh. That's pretty ridiculous.
Oh, go ahead.
I mispronounced that. I mispronounced that name.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't even laughing at your pronunciation. I was just laughing at the idea of fairly outstate there.
Fairly Ridiculous.
Fairly ridiculous. Okay, I got you. And then we
I
have
just didn't even know they had a team. That's like I was listening to you go through all these teams, and I just was laughing because of these ridiculous. Like, I guess if you have a gym, you might as well have a basketball team.
And you want to know the worst thing about it? It's 15 minutes from my house. Yeah.
Oh,
wow. Okay, so let's go by. Okay.
you go steal their gym shoes. Go put shaving. You can go put shaving cream in their gym shoes.
Oh, they've been done since the 80s. Come on.
You shave those nasty feet.
Indiana just tipped off against Iowa, UCLA.
Oh, hey.
Cal.
Two teams.
Uh,
What teams did I know?
UCLA in California at 9, Arizona State, Portland, BYU at 9, SIU Edwardsville versus Tennessee State at 9, Pacific
Southern Indiana.
for 9. I know who those guys are. Southern Utah and Weber State at 9 o'clock.
Weber.
Yeah, Weber.
Utah against Washington State at 10.
Hey, more teams I know.
San Francisco against Santa Clara at 10. Idaho State versus Portland State at 10:05.
I didn't know Portland had a state.
Or Colorado State versus Utah State at 11. And then there are, of course, postponed games. That would be USC and Stanford, Cornell and Northern Iowa, St. Francis, and Long Island University have all been postponed. But that is the scoreboard for college basketball as of right now.
And to also be aware of that, FDU plays, and I think it's called the Horizon Conference.
Horizon League.
Yeah.
Horizon. It's not really
Yeah.
well known, so that's why you're probably not familiar.
My university was in the Horizon League.
Which was
Oakland.
heard of it?
Yeah, the Grizzlies.
Yep, I've heard of it.
I went to school there for a semester. Our very first nationally televised game was on ESPN3. It was against Tennessee,
Yes.
ironically enough, and we won the game too. It was a blackout, and we all got glow in the dark black T-shirts, and it was really cool.
I think I saw that game.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's the most fun I've ever had at a sporting event.
Wrong tube.
Bradley's gonna die on us here.
I just
Sorry,
walked
Don't die.
wrong tube. I'm sorry.
Arms up, arms up.
Well, at least if I die, it'll be on air. That way you can
Right? Television, right?
at least that happens.
And I'll make this
I just realized we're going to be talking about Tennessee, and I just realized that the color circles are orange and white. And what a
see that.
we're going to be trashing the University of Tennessee here in a few minutes.
The university's like an hour 15 from where I live, so
in
go up there and steal their gym shoes.
Yeah. I am sure you guys heard what is happening with their recruiting violations.
I heard something about it being a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Excuse me for just 1 second.
You literally had bagmen that put cash in a McDonald's bag to hand to recruits.
Oh.
That's the what does it say here? Tennessee got sloppy. Georgia has gotten sloppy, but there's been no word on NCAA looking at Georgia. But Tennessee, they got sloppy, and they're handling out cash in McDonald's bags. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this was reported on the Dan Patrick Show.
How much?
I didn't mean to mute. Sorry about that.
I'm not sure if they have a total of what was given out. Let me see.
That much, huh?
Tennessee did fire their head coach, Jeremy Pruitt.
Jeremy Pruitt. I couldn't remember what his name was. I mean, I'm available if anybody wants to get my resume.
Yeah, send mine too.
I
know, right?
I wish you the best of luck in the the SEC every year. So
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it to win. I'm doing it for the money.
Why not?
With recruiting and all that stuff now.
Hey, I can give out sacks of cash in McDonald's bags too with the best of them.
Right.
Hey, I'll even get a McDonald's uniform and stand behind the counter. I mean,
Yeah. I guess I didn't know this, that George is also being looked at too.
I hadn't heard that either.
The same thing. So I know Florida got in trouble for talking to recruits via computer or something. I think Dan Mullen got in trouble.
Yeah.
But I've talked to like Gator fans, and I talked to former UF quarterback Shane Matthews a few weeks ago on my Monday show, and they don't think that it's going to be a big deal.
No, probably not.
I don't have any idea. I know this is a very serious thing.
I mean, it got Jeremy Pruitt fired, so
yeah,
it's very serious.
Well, also, Notre Dame's on probation now for a year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
In football?
In football?
Football.
Wow. Like,
see, that's new news to me.
No playoffs, no bowl games, no nothing probation?
Nada. Zippo.
Wow. They must be expecting to have a bad year this year then.
They probably will now. Yeah, it was announced.
Well, you always go on probation when you're expected to have a down year.
Right. But legal recruiting,
well, first of all, what is legal recruiting? I think everybody does illegal recruiting.
If you want me to go to the article that I had here, I will explain, plain and simple. Well, maybe not so simple.
The University of Tennessee also fired Philip Fulmer, who's their AD. So now I think the last I had heard, they're hiring the guy from UCF is going to be their new AD at Tennessee.
Really?
Yep.
Okay,
Didn't you just have him on your show a couple weeks ago?
Who's that?
The AD there for USF?
Yeah, we talked to Michael Kelly.
And now he's going to Tennessee?
No, not USF, UCF.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I misunderstood you. My bad.
Michael Kelly's not leaving USF.
Wow. Talking about pulling the rug out from underneath y'all.
Yeah, that would be like. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go to Tennessee. I'm off to Tennessee now. Yeah.
We're not doing it for money. We're doing it for a shit ton of money.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. No, I mean, then we interviewed this past Tuesday. We interviewed a former softball player at USF, and she played softball at Tennessee and said it was awful. So I'm like, oh,
wow. Yeah, I've heard that. I was talking to somebody. I don't remember what we were even talking about now, but they said that the thing that they were doing was awful at the place they were doing it. Something that you would think would be really fun, and they were like, it's not fun at all.
No.
I don't even remember.
She said it was.
Oh, I know what it was. We were talking to Jim last week, and he was talking about how his brother had a miserable time at state.
Yeah, I remember him saying that. Yep.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, I mean, I only have so many things my brain can remember. Half a song, pointless Tom Brady trivia.
Yes, since not one of us asked him about Tom Brady.
I know. I need to. I'll message him here in a couple of weeks, see if we can have him back on the show.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Asked him about how it was when Tom was there.
yeah, that would have been
right. Yeah.
But circling back around to the topic at hand, I know there's recruiting windows where you can talk to players at a certain time during the year, and if you try to recruit them outside those windows, there can be penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you can't recruit with. I think you have to have I think you have to have parental consent to recruit certain players. I think the parents have to be there when you recruit. Conflicts of interest and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find the article, Lou?
I'm on the site right now. So
okay. We'll
yeah.
continue to talk amongst ourselves then. You do that and we'll talk amongst ourselves.
Oh, boy. See, ESPN is where I go from my sources. And this came up about, I think I heard about 3 o'clock this afternoon. And and Notre Dame was probably the most historic program on all college sports. And,
one of them, yeah.
One of them.
Well, considering their long history. Okay, here it is.
Okay, go ahead.
Perhaps the most historic program, at least in my opinion, in all college football. Notre Dame has been placed on 1-year probation today after Isaac Reed, a former assistant coach that had impressionable off-campus recruiting contact with a high school player in January of 2019. To go further along with this, the NCAA found out that head coach Brian Kelly also had done the same with a prospect in October of that year. Double trouble. In addition to the probation, the Irish will fine $5,000 and face other recruiting restrictions, including one less official visit, 14 days fewer visits, and 7-day off-campus recruiting ban for the entire coaching staff. But I wonder what constitutes an unofficial visit and an official visit. I never understood that.
I'm not sure, honestly.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I mean, you're here, so how could it be unofficial? I mean, you're here. So, what does it mean?
When I was doing, I think an unofficial visit is when a player just goes to the campus to check things out. An official visit is when he meets with the campus staff. Because I had an official visit because I was looking at several universities. This was years ago, and one of the reasons why I picked Oakland University because it was a gorgeous campus, and I fell in love with campus. And I had an official visit. Now I wasn't recruited as an athlete, and I thought about walking on the baseball team, but I never pursued that. I should have. I kick myself every day for it. But I had an official. I met with a tour group, and we all got visitor badges, and we were led around by the campus staff, and we got to meet some of the professors, and got to see the classrooms and the dorm rooms, and we had an official visit. And I think an unofficial visit would be just going, like if you walked onto Central Michigan's campus and were like, "Hey, how's everything going?"
Just passing through. That's all.
Yeah, something like that.
I think the word for that is trespassing.
Only if you overstay your welcome.
I was gonna say, yeah. Only if
you overstay anyway. I mean, you just walked in. You just showed up. And oh, hi, how are you? Yeah. Who the hell are you?
I think that you can, because a lot of universities, they have big libraries, and so people will go to campus to do research, and they'll be working on a story, or they'll be working on papers, and they'll just go to the campus to use the resources on campus, or to meet with a professor that an off chance meeting with a professor that works at the university. And so that would be like an unofficial visit. And then when you specifically set up a visit, or you have a recruiter at your house, that would be an official visit.
It also qualifies you as a schmo. So,
yeah, I've been called worse.
So have I. An unofficial visit, that means you're a schmo who's trespassing on campus.
Right.
That's an unofficial visit.
Yeah, something like that.
So Notre Dame can't recruit at all off campus. Then
you're here
for 7 days.
For 7 days, okay.
I think, if I understood that right.
Yeah. I look at it as you're here, but you're not supposed to be here.
Well, they're gonna have a huge turnover anyway, right?
Yeah.
Players are gonna go to the NFL anyway. Ian Book, I think, is a senior. Their tight end is one of the top tight ends in the country. I think.
Yeah. What about Ian Book?
Book will go.
I think he's. I wouldn't take a chance on him late in the fourth or fifth. Definitely, if I was looking to get a quarterback for the future, if I was maybe New Orleans, or Miami, maybe looking to shore up the backup position, looking for a practice squad kind of guy. I think Ian Book definitely has practice squad written all over him. It's not a knock on Ian. I'm not saying anything bad about the kid, but I think he's definitely a project.
Okay.
So not a first rounder or a second rounder.
No.
Wow.
I think I don't see it. I'm really high on Brock Purdy out of Iowa State. That's my guy.
In April.
Yeah, of course. And we can get into that. Well, I guess we're talking college football. Yeah, he's my guy. Brock Purdy is the guy that I've been targeting since week 1 of the college football season for a steal. I think he's an absolute freaking steal. He's a kind of a Andrew Luck with more wheels, with better wheels. Mm-hmm. Big, strong, got a good arm, smart kid, can make all the throws, can make all the reads. I know he didn't look great against Oklahoma. Who the hell did they play in their bowl game? Did they play Oklahoma?
That was Oklahoma.
Played Florida.
I thought it was the Iowa. It was the championship game that they played. Yeah, I know he didn't look great in that game, but I think I've been saying that he's a project. I think he'd be a great fit in New Orleans to back up
Jameis Winston.
Drew Brees. I think Brees plays another year.
He's gonna come back.
I don't know.
He might not, but I still think he's gonna play. And until I hear he's not playing, I'm saying he's playing.
Could be Jameis.
Could be Jameis.
Could be Jameis.
Jameis, the turnover machine.
What about Rivers? In his retirement.
Yeah, I don't know what the culture. He would be a good fit in Indy. I think I would if Indy had a shot to take him. If I was GM in Indianapolis, and he was on the board in the 3rd round, I'd take him, or the 4th round. I don't know about Jacoby Brissett. I don't think he's a long-term answer. I think he's a good quarterback, but I don't know if he's a long-term 15-year kind of guy, franchise guy. He's a good quarterback. He'll win you more than he loses you, but I don't know if he can win you he's definitely a guy that needs a good running game to win a title. And we can get to the NFL in a minute.
True. Yeah, it looks like, speaking of the basketball, the association, who probably has the greatest commissioner of all.
Kobe.
Adam Silver, yeah. God rest his soul.
Right. It's been what? 3 days? It'll be a year?
Right?
3 days, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
it was the 24th, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, that's.
I remember. I didn't. Kobe wasn't one of my favorite guys growing up. I wasn't a Kobe hater or anything, but he wasn't one of my guys. I was a big Pistons fan, and so I relished beating the Lakers in the early 2000s, and I don't know, it tore me up when I heard he died. I bawled for like 6 straight hours, just like a baby for no. I couldn't even express why I was so sad. I was so broken up about that. I couldn't even get over it. I don't know. I can't believe it's been a year already.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's one of the greats. I mean, that's just it.
I know.
Mean, even if you hated him, I think when he passed away, I think it. I mean, I remember talking about that on the show. About when he passed away, it's like, holy shit! It's like, okay, the legend is gone. I understand again. I'm not trying to point this out that as you get older, you have to die off, but you're more likely as you get older to do that. Kobe wasn't in that realm of his life.
He was early 40s, right?
41.
That's what I thought.
It's like, I could tell you where I was at. I was out with my nieces and my nephews and my niece. We were at a park, and I got a thing on my phone, and it was from TMZ. So I'm like, yeah, they're TMZ. They just like
not exactly the most reliable source,
right? And then all of a sudden, I get home, and no, it was real. It was like, oh, it's real. That really did. He really did die. It's like, oh my God, yeah. Then it set in. It's like, okay, now it's time to mourn. Now it's time to cry a little bit. Yep.
I was here at the house because it was a Sunday. It was Sunday, and I remember hearing some rumblings about some kind of incident. I don't know. I was like, okay. So I got on Google and I started Googling helicopter crashes. and I found the crash. It's like, yeah, there was a helicopter crash in, I believe it's Santa Monica, and I was like, yeah, this is real. There was a helicopter crash, and then
when I first heard the story, I said it was from TMZ. Like, now, how could this be true? I mean, TMZ is not really a great source for sports. It's just a gossip stuff, and like, no, I didn't. But then, I was I was coming home from a trip, and I turned the set on. I'm like, oh my god,
yeah,
this is real. And I just like, how? I mean, I was just in shock.
Yeah.
And
I don't think anyone took it harder than Shaq. He was the one between him and MJ. I don't know who took it harder, because seeing MJ just absolutely lose it at the memorial that they had for him for Kobe after he passed away, and again, guys, not to take away from the other people. Again, he lost his daughter. His wife lost him and his daughter.
Yeah.
So, and then all the other people that actually perished in that helicopter crash as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know who took it harder, if it was Shaq or if it was MJ. I don't know who took it harder when he passed. Shaq, maybe Shaq. I think Shaq may have taken it a lot because Shaq was his teammate.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't get along with each other all the time.
At the time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has the fact to do that Shaq they had their rough times.
Right.
And kind of Shaq, everybody kind of expected him to live another 30 or 40 years. And you don't say goodbye to somebody when they're 40.
Yeah.
It's not like when your grandpa is in the hospital and time is short, and so you prepare yourself and you make all the arrangements and you let him go and you're able say goodbye and you're okay, you're ready to move on. Kobe was gone just like that. It was like I'm sure Shaq thought he had another 30 years with the man.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get together next week. We'll hang out. We'll have a beer. We'll.
Well, if you guys remember too, Kobe had just messaged Shaq's son, I think, or his nephew, or something like that. He had just messaged him like the night before. I think that's what hit Shaq the hardest. Is like, I didn't get a chance to talk to him before like you just said. I think everyone's like, well, he's fine. He's done this 1,000 times before.
Yeah.
We always take that. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. None of us.
Right.
Not one person's guaranteed tomorrow. So it really is sad that you remember that he's gone. Yeah, and coming up on a year now, I'm sure. Like I said, I'm sure the NBA is going to do something on Sunday, or it happens. Yeah.
And to add to that, although kind of not related, but I just lost an aunt this past week as well.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Lewis. Yeah,
sorry to hear that, man.
She was 90 years old and she had a form of dementia.
Oh, okay.
Was suffering from cancer, so we kind of knew that was coming. She's been sick a while.
Sometimes it's better that way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
when you're
coming, so it saddened. Yes. Shocked. No.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's it's easier to let somebody go when they're suffering like that.
Yeah. So if it's okay with you guys, I want to dedicate this show to my Aunt Catherine.
Oh, absolutely.
Passed away.
Yeah.
We called her Aunt Kate, but it was really Catherine. But
on top of that, Lewis, for her to survive till 90, I think that's all something that we all want to do.
Yeah.
You get in your 80s, your late 80s, early 90s, count your lucky blessings. There's not a lot of people that get that old, that get to live that long. I mean, so heck yeah, man, you can get into your late 80s, early 90s, or even, Betty White's 99.
99.
Yeah.
So there you go. Crying for Betty
White a while ago.
She's the only Golden Girl left.
I made a joke about Betty White in reference to with Dana White, how he doesn't want to go I said, well, maybe you. He wouldn't want to come back as from Vanna White. No, make that Betty White. You go from Dana White to Betty White. Ugh.
Yeah.
I know. It was just a bad joke, but I thought I just couldn't resist.
No, that's cool.
He wasn't going to take it from Dana. He wasn't going to take it from Dana White. He's going to take it from Betty White. Oh, yuck.
Not at all. Yeah, that's Well, I know the NBA they're going to have people
The COVID policies, yeah.
to follow code, so they're going to enforce rules on forbidding hugs and handshakes with mid-court security. I heard that on the radio today.
Yeah.
They're going to slow the spread down amongst the NBA players.
Like that's going to work. Yeah, sure.
I don't see how that's going to work either, but
No.
It is what it is. They'll try. Let's see.
Wings though. No.
It looks like right now Milwaukee and the Lakers are playing. The Lakers
I
are
saw that.
70 right now.
They're at what?
78-70 Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Let's go Lakers.
Yep. And then you have the Pelicans and the Jazz at 10, and the Knicks and the Golden State also at 10 o'clock. So those look like that.
Knicks look a little bit decent. I mean, they've had their
Are they looking good?
but they're looking better. I mean, they're not exactly but they're getting better.
I mean, when the Knicks manage to make a shot, you got to feel like you got a shot to win the NBA title.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. That's a lot.
You should have you should have seen Sunday's game. I mean, they gave Boston on their home court a major case of whoop ass. I mean, major.
Well, I mean,
I'm just picking.
Right now, if the playoffs started today, they'd be in the playoffs. Maybe
right.
I get call the seat. Hey, back when the NBA or MLB started their season back when they got the thing going and the Tigers were 7-2. I was like, all right, the season's over. Tigers win. So, hey, I can't talk too much shit. I mean, but
you know what? I mean, all right. Now I'm a reporter for a guy out in Michigan. Bradley knows who he is. You talked to him, I think.
Yep.
And even he wasn't very optimistic when the Tigers were 7-2. Well, they'll find a way to tank and crash. When I was hoping it happen, but he was right. I mean, because they still ended up with a horrific year that season anyway. I mean, the Tigers have not done nothing since 2006.
13.
13. Well, 13. Well,
they made the ALCS in 2013.
But they made the World Series in 2006. They lost,
and 2012. They lost both in 06 and 2012. The Cardinals and the Giants.
2012.
And they lost to Boston because
they lost to the Red Sox in 2013 in the ALCS.
Because we decided to pitch to Ortiz.
2013 in Boston.
Up by 3.
Yeah, I still remember that game.
Never hit a home run.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a nice paper cut and rub lemon juice in it while you're at it?
Never hit a home run.
Going back to that World Series, I think that kind of meant something for Boston because that was also the same year that they had the attacks of the marathon. And, it was kind of fitting for them. I mean, I'm not a Red Sox fan, as you well know. I mean, I can't stand the Red Sox.
Yeah.
But under the circumstances, what they went through, and they still managed to win that World Series that year. And on their home field, was just like, a sign. I think it was a sign from God or something.
Right.
But it hasn't happened at Fenway Park in 95 years.
Yeah, it had been 90 years. 90 years since they had won a World Series. Yeah.
Unfortunately, it had to be Joe Buck calling the game. Oh well. Yeah.
That's Fox for you. So
yeah,
that's Fox for you. Yeah. So your guys are the ranking Eastern Conference. You got Philly, Milwaukee, Boston, Indiana, Brooklyn, Cleveland, Atlanta, and the Knicks round out the top 8. Then it's Orlando, Miami, Charlotte, Chicago, Toronto, Washington, Detroit rounds out the Eastern Conference. And the West is the Clippers, Lakers, Jazz, Suns, Warriors, Blazers, Grizzlies, Spurs are the top 8. Then it's Dallas, Denver, Oklahoma City, the Pelicans, the Kings, the Rockets, and the Timberwolves round out the standings in the association.
Here's a question. What happened to Miami?
I don't know, man. I thought they were going to be a threat.
Lewis, I recovered this on my Monday show. They have an issue with turnovers. They average like 20 turnovers a game. They're just absolutely horrific.
How do you? You don't win basketball giving up 20 turnovers.
Yeah, they're horrible They're horrible with turnovers this year. That's been what's
been bad up by 20 in a game.
Yeah, they had 20 again. I forget. I want to say it was against the Pistons. They had 17 or 18 against Detroit.
Yeah,
recently,
couple days ago. Yeah.
So turnovers has been what's been killing Miami this year. Orlando it's Fultz being out. They're just a young team that they're not doing squat this year in Orlando. That's the other team I cover.
Yeah, was to be expected, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where was to circle back? Where was Brooklyn?
Brooklyn? I think they're in the top 8.
Yeah, they are.
The Nets are currently 5th in the Eastern Conference.
They got beat by 10 in double overtime last night.
Yeah, I know. Kyrie's back. Had a great game. Durant's doing well.
Harden's been pretty good.
Harden's on fire.
Yeah. So Harden's been good. What do you expect? He's on a new team. Of course he'll be on fire.
He cares again. He cares
about basketball again.
Yep. He cares about winning. He cares about basketball. He cares about being in shape.
Yep. New team.
To go.
New team.
Yeah.
New team.
Yep.
I saw the game last night. I mean, they looked like they had until double overtime, and then the Cavaliers just took over. But I'm glad to see the Nets are finally coming together. At least Kyrie has solved his personal issues.
Yeah.
Or so they think like, oh, I was just partying with Drake, and I couldn't pass that up. Like, you couldn't find somebody better. Drake.
Well, that's the question I have to ask too. What is it with Kyrie? Does he have one good game and he takes 2 games off? What is it with him? I'm just curious. Is he basketball or what's going on with him?
Major problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'm just curious on how, like, he has a great game and then the next game he's just not there.
Version of LeBron.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was teammates with LeBron for how many years in Cleveland? How many times?
4 or 5.
Yeah, they won a title together.
Yeah, but still, I mean, they got both an ego problem. I think LeBron's got a bigger ego problem though.
Oh,
he passed Kyrie.
Here we go.
I mean, obviously, that would be, I mean, LeBron is one of those egomaniacs.
Oh, yeah, of course. I said it plenty of times.
So here we are, guys, with the National Football League again. We're on conference Sunday. There was, I guess, and again, I'm not a Rams fan, so I don't really know too much about this, but I guess Jared Goff and Sean McVay are not seeing eye to eye on things. Going into the offseason, of course, they lost 32-18 this past Sunday against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. The number 1 defense looked not number 1 against Aaron Rodgers and company. That pass that Devontae Adams caught on the goal line was amazing. It frustrated Jalen Ramsey to death. I don't know if you guys saw that play. He got pissed off at his teammate.
I saw that. I watched that whole game.
Yeah, he was pissed. He was pissed. He was not happy.
Jalen Ramsey is overrated.
Yeah, ask the Jaguars. That'll pretty much tell you what they feel about it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no scouting combine either.
Okay.
NFL has announced there will be no 2021 scouting combine due to the COVID thing. Obviously, that's a protective
measure.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. Yep, that does suck because now you can't look at young talent or if anyone was on the edge of a first or second round pick.
Or a 6th or 7th.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that can work their way into the draft by having a guy that was borderline to be drafted can work himself into a draft.
Yeah, a good combine. Yep.
Right. A guy like
we have arrived, gentlemen. Yeah. Yep. Let's see here. Yep. All right. So we have arrived at the conference championship games that are going to happen this weekend. The first one, obviously, is the 3:00 game between Green Bay and Tampa Bay. Let me see what we have as far as
The over-under
lines, under and all that stuff. I know the temperature in the 20s, and they're predicting snow.
Yep.
The fall,
On Sunday, they were saying 24 in snow.
24 in snow. Okay.
I don't know if that has changed, but I imagine it's not. If it has changed,
now it's gonna be 18 in snow.
yeah, I was gonna say it's maybe 31 in snow. I mean, probably gonna be snowing. It's Green Bay. It's Green Bay in January. The Aaron Rodgers' first home championship game.
Mm-hmm.
It will be. Yes, it is the first. Yep, that is correct.
And of course,
I just thought the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field.
Frozen tundra, Lambeau.
Oh, it's like the Columbus Blue Jackets and Lightning are going to overtime again.
They won't play 5 this time.
No, they won't. They'll go to a shootout before that'll happen. The matchup predictor has on ESPN has Green Bay at 53%, Tampa Bay at 46%. That's close. The spread right now,
close enough, man.
Green Bay is a 3-point favorite with the over/under being 51.5. They're calling for a game time temperature of 32 degrees with snow on Sunday afternoon.
I gotta know what's the wind gonna be like though.
It doesn't say anything about wind.
Yeah,
as of right now. Now again, that
right. I mean, look at the Buffalo game last week. Wind was an incredible factor.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
So I'd like to know what the wind speed's going to be. Is it going to be gusting to 15 or 20, or is it going to be? Are you going to have sheets of snow, or it's going to play a huge factor in the game.
Yeah,
I think you summed it up quite nicely last week when we were talking about the Saints game for the Bucs, and what they got to do to win is run the ball, protect the ball, and get turnovers.
Well, they're going to have to pressure Aaron Rodgers like they did in the first game. They sacked him 5 times, but again, that was here in Tampa. Obviously, that was both teams are better than they were in 6. So yeah, they have. Again, just like with anything else, any sport that you play, if you win the turnover battle, you're most likely going to pull the game out. Yeah. And they did that last week against the Saints. They had 4 turnovers. They had 3, which I was shocked out in my mind that they picked off Drew Brees 3 times. That was
incredible. And a pick 6.
So, yeah. They kept Kamara down.
They handled Kamara really well. The only thing that they...
How much Taysom Hill means to the Saints, because he was at a big factor.
And they gave up 13 points outside of the one big play.
Right.
I mean, they played a really great defensive game. Other than letting the Saints get over the top on the trick play.
Yep.
The Saints had nothing. They had absolutely no answers for the Bucs defense. And Green Bay is very much a straight up team. They're just going to line up and play football. They're not going to be running gadget plays or any trick plays. So I like the Bucs' chances in this game.
Well, the Packers, along with the Bucs too, I think both of them need to establish the running game that sets up play action. And no one better in the game that play action than Aaron Rodgers. So again, it's we're going to have to see if the Bucs can control. Now, again, supposedly, I don't know. Vita Vea has been practicing. Remember, he hurt his ankle against the Bears, but he might be available for this game. If he's available, that definitely is going to help that run defense. Then it opens up Shaq and JPP on the outside.
Yeah, to be able to get pressure.
But make sure, just like with Drew Brees, if you're going to pressure him, you got to get to him. Because if you don't get to him,
he's just going to pick you alive.
So they're going to blitz. They're going to make sure they're going to have to get to Aaron early in the game.
The trick will be getting pressure with your front 4. So they can play coverage. Can they get there with just 4 or 5? So they can drop 7 or 8 into coverage. Or 6 or 7.
It would definitely, hopefully, open up, for Levante David and Devin White.
Devin White's going to have another monster game. I really think he's going to be the key for Tampa Bay to win. If Green Bay can isolate him and take him off his game, it's going to be an uphill battle for Tampa Bay.
Well, I think the one thing the Bucs have to do better, I think, this week than they did last week is special teams. They gave up too many big plays to the Saints on returns.
Yeah, if they hadn't had that one come back on the kick on the holding, yeah,
they're going to have
the back or whatever it was.
They're going to have to do a better job on punt coverage.
Punt and kick coverage. Yeah,
because again, a lot of people don't look at special teams as a big factor, but it does play a big factor in games.
Oh, it does.
Kick returns, field goals, extra points. Like you were just talking about the Bills game. He missed 2 field goals. He doesn't.
Justin Tucker missed 2 field goals.
Yeah, he doesn't miss any. He doesn't miss at all. He's been automatic. So for him to miss 2, wait a second, something's not right. So weather does play a factor. Special teams is very important. And so
special teams can be the difference between getting the ball at the 8 versus the 25.
Correct.
I mean, it might not seem like it's only like 10 or 12 yards of field position, but it's the difference between having to punt from your own 1, or let's say you go a quick 3 and out, 3 incompletions or 2 incompletions and a run up the middle for 3 yards and punting. You're punting from the 15. You're punting from your own goal line, and it totally changes where you're punting from versus punting from the 25 or the 28, where you're kicking from your own 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you're punting from your own 8, you gotta think about driving the ball, and you're gonna really wanting to hammer the ball, and that can slow your timing down, which can allow a rush to get there, or it can allow you to set up a return.
Oh, there's the goal. Okay, there's the winning goal. Okay, Lightning won in overtime.
Okay.
But I like the quote by Bruce Arians. I was listening to the radio today. He goes, of course, the thing is, the Bucs could be the first team ever to host the Super Bowl. He goes, well, that's not the game that we're playing this week. We're playing the NFC Championship game in Green Bay. He goes, if we think about the Super Bowl, we're going to end up getting our asses kicked, and we're going to be packing our bags on Monday to go home.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he said, you can't overthink the game. You can't look past them. And stuff like I don't see this team doing that.
Not with Tom Brady.
Not with Tom. Yeah, not with Tom at the helm. I don't think that's
And Tom Brady has to. He can't lose that. He doesn't got to win them the game. He just can't lose them the game.
Correct.
He's got to play a good game. He ain't got to go. He ain't got to be 28 for 31 for 341 and 6 touchdowns. He just got to play like he did last week. Real smart.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns. I think he only threw for 189
yards.
Or
80, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, last week. So
he was like 19 for 31 or 30 and 2 touchdowns and 80 some odd yards. Not gaudy numbers, but they got the job done. No picks, no fumbles.
Yep, they didn't turn the ball over at all. The Bucs did not turn the ball over once.
Nope.
Last week. So that's
going to be the key to the game, just like it was last week.
They had those issues against the Saints in the first 2 games. They turned the ball over, I think, 8 times or 9 times in the first 2 games combined.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Brady had 3 picks in the second one.
Right, correct. 3 interceptions. Yep, 3 interceptions in the second game. So guys, give me your pick. Who do you like this week, this Sunday?
Tampa Bay 27-17.
27-17. Lewis?
Packers 37. And the Bucs 17.
37-17. Green Bay. Okay. I'm going to take the Bucs in. I'm going to say 31-28. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. It's going to be a fourth quarter battle game. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be the lead's going to change late in the quarter, like between the 4 and 5 minute mark. That's where you see the lead change. I think it's going to be a good game back and forth. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by either team. I think the defenses are too good for both. But yeah, I could definitely see it being a very, very close.
It'll be a spirited contest.
Yes. Now the other game, which is the AFC Championship game, which is kind of weird as a Patriot fan not to be talking about the Patriots being in this game, but I like the matchup between Buffalo.
Yeah, it should be good.
Of course.
I really do. I really do.
Have you heard, has Mahomes been cleared yet?
He was practicing as of what I heard today. They said that most likely he'll clear protocol tomorrow. So
Okay.
he should be ready to go for Sunday. I can't see him not playing.
If he's even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't 100% either. So
Yeah, but an 85% or 90% Mahomes is pretty much 100% everyone else.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's pretty good at 85%. I think he can still get them over the mark. At that, it looks like the ESPN has them 58% to 41% for Kansas City, and the line again, just like the Bucs and Packers game, is the Chiefs are the 3-point favorite, and the over/under is 54, and the weather in Arrowhead is going to be 42 degrees with rain, according to what it says. So that's going to be interesting with the weather. Rain will be a factor in
Arrowhead's not exactly a kicker-friendly park anyway.
No.
I just want Buffalo to win. I really do. I'm really pulling for Buffalo. I don't know, really. It's going to come down to quarterback play. Like I said, like I've been saying for the last 3 weeks, even whether it was when it's Tennessee versus Baltimore, I was like, it's going to come down to who plays better quarterback. Is it going to be Lamar Jackson or Ryan Tannehill? Yeah, Lamar Jackson won that battle. Lamar Jackson, of course, he did run all over Tennessee, which I didn't see coming, and I didn't see Tennessee or Baltimore bottling up Henry as well as they did. But and then conversely, when you flip to the Bucs game or Bills game, I thought that the Bills did a very good job of containing the Ravens rushing game, and they didn't let Lamar get out and run. He never really established himself as a runner, and he didn't make them. They weren't afraid to play coverage. And they played very good coverage and got up and hit Lamar when he got out of the pocket. So I thought the Bills defense played an excellent game against Baltimore, and I think that if Baltimore or Buffalo, I don't know why I'm having trouble with that. If Buffalo wants to win this game, they should probably suit up and play. Right. And I should talk about them if I want to talk about this game.
Yeah.
But I think if the Bills want to win, it's going to come down to Josh Allen. And how he plays. It's really, this game goes, the Bills go how Josh Allen goes. If he plays well and he has a couple of touchdowns, they can win this game. If he has a bad game, they don't have any chance if Josh Allen doesn't play well.
Do you think it's going to be a big game for Diggs and that wide receiver crew? Cole Beasley and company will have to have a big game.
Yeah, they have to have a monster game.
Yeah, they're
going to need to score 30 to win this game.
Yeah, well, yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. I think. See, the funny thing is, a lot of people, are calling Buffalo's defense mediocre. I've heard that term on the radio. I don't agree with it. What I'm saying is, you hear about it on the radio and you're like, mediocre. Well, okay. How in the world is it mediocre when this team won the division this year? Yep. On top of that, they have won
two playoff games.
So how are they mediocre? I don't know how you get with a mediocre defense. I don't get that.
I mean, the number one defense in the league got beat last week. So
yeah,
maybe what you need is a mediocre defense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all you really need is them to make one or two great plays. If they can do
and
that,
play good the rest of the day.
Correct.
I mean, what it's really going to take is shutting. Is not letting Kelsey and Hill get over the top.
Correct.
Force them to stay 8 to 10 yards. Get up, make the stop, get up and play the next down.
Keep the big plays.
Keep everything in front of you. come up and make the tackle.
Correct. Yep. So Buffalo might be that Cinderella team this year.
They very well. I think both Cinderellas are going to the ball this year.
That's the Bucks and the Bills. I mean, that's obviously that's the pick. I mean, I was very young when the Bills played a Super Bowl here in Tampa and lost to the Giants. Scott Norwood missed the game-winning field goal, and that started Bill Parcells and the Giants to their first. I think it was their first title or second title. I don't remember the Giants won more than. I know they won 2 with Eli, obviously, recently. But I mean, yeah, that game was interesting. The Bills were a great team. Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Darryl Talley, Bruce Smith. And go down the list of the Hall of Famers that are on that team. But this team is a little bit different. I think Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks that not a lot of people talk about because of where he went to school at Wyoming. Again, I don't think it should matter where you play college football because when you get to the pros, it all changes anyway. It all changes anyway. So it would be kind of cool to see Buffalo win. It's going to be interesting to say the least. If again, they're going to have to do what they did last week. They're going to have to keep Patrick Mahomes at bay. They're going to, like you said, they're going to have to keep Hill and Kelsey. They're going to have to keep those guys at bay. I'm not saying that they can't do that, and then they're going to have to stay away from making mistakes. Don't turn the ball over. Don't give up penalties that cause touchdowns. Don't do stupid things. Don't make stupid mistakes that are going to cost you the football game.
Play inside yourself.
Right.
And do your job.
Right.
All right, guys. Who you got? Who you got? What's the final score going to be?
I got it. Buffalo 30, Kansas City 24.
Lewis?
Right on the line.
No, I think it's going to be a much closer game. I'm thinking it's going to be 31-28 Kansas City.
31-28. Okay. Wow, this is tough. I don't really.
It is incredibly tough.
Yeah, I honestly, yes, I would love to see Buffalo. It's hard because if you take the Bucks, if they beat Green Bay, who do they match up better against? They match up better against Josh Allen. Yes, I think they match up better against the Bills.
Everybody does.
Than they do the Chiefs. I'm gonna say 31-30 Kansas City, and it's gonna be another one of those field goal games. It's gonna be another one of those fourth quarter lead changes that's gonna make it so close. And again, the rain might play a factor in field goals this week.
And it's Arrowhead's not a kicker-friendly park anyway.
Correct.
I think that Buffalo, you don't really want this game to come down to a kick.
No. Again, you don't want it to lean.
I don't think either. I like both the underdogs in these two games, and I really don't think that the line 3 points is really it's a toss-up at that point.
Well, it's just because they're playing at home. I think that's the only factor right now with the way that Vegas is. So that's how close and tight Vegas is with their gambling. Is the money must be pretty even for both sides.
Yeah, I would say the money's pretty even money. I do. I like Buffalo.
So you got the Bills. You have the Bills and the Bucks in the Super Bowl. Lewis has the Packers and the Chiefs, and I have Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Okay, so we'll have to find out how that all plays itself out. This week. I think. In all honesty, I think both games will be great. I really think we're not going to.
I hope so.
Do you guys think that these are the best 4 teams left?
Yep.
Or do you think there was someone else out there that got screwed and?
No.
These are the best 4 teams that are left.
Not like in the last couple of years where you've had some really egregious calls. I think the best 4 teams, the 4 teams that deserve to win, won 4 games this year.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I was not very surprised that Cleveland actually did beat Pittsburgh, considering in the last few weeks how they came flying out of the gate but stumbled down the stretch. Then the COVID issues, and they just look depleted. So I wasn't surprised that Cleveland to beat Pittsburgh.
I wasn't surprised that Cleveland beat Pittsburgh either. Pittsburgh's defense was incredibly suspect going into week 1 and going into round 1.
So was their quarterback. Roethlisberger's not doing very well either. He is lost his skill.
He's showing his age.
Yep. Well, gentlemen, I mean, is there any closing remarks for you guys? We've reached the end of the show. Is there anything you guys want to add for at the end of the show?
I'll let you go first, Lewis.
Actually, I don't have anything, so I was just waiting for you.
Well, I was surprised a little bit. I did not see this coming, but Philip Rivers has decided to hang him up. I was expecting at least one more year out of Rivers. We'll see where we're at in April, and if he decides that he really does want to be retired. We'll see if there's a preseason. There may not be a preseason next year, and he may not have to go through training camps and OTAs. So he may say, "Hell with it, I'll come back for one more." So we'll see. Kyle Larson's officially has a sponsor. It's HendrickCars.com. Not unexpected. The Hendrick brand was expected to be on the car for the foreseeable future. The first probably month and a half of the season. They are looking for associate sponsors. So if you have a couple $1 million and you want to sponsor a race team, give them a call.
Because NASCAR basically is a sponsor driven.
Absolutely.
League, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. You either have to have money or you got to get somebody else's money.
Well, speaking of sponsors, are you guys upset with what the NHL does, where they're wearing logos on helmets and stuff?
Play behind.
I've been a NASCAR fan for 20 plus years, and they've been doing sponsors They've been doing sponsors since the 70s, so didn't bother me in the bit. I mean, even the conferences in the NHL have sponsors this year, and I think it's a great idea. It helps them make revenue so that they can continue to pay the players.
If you go to NASCAR, you could have them in bowl games for college football. I say, so what? You got them? You got them.
I agree.
It's not like it's ruining the sport.
No.
It's not like the players now have to, do something sponsor related during the intermission or anything. I mean, not like they weren't already or anything.
Right. All right. Well, I mean, real quick, guys, I'm watching the Canadians Canucks, and it's 2-2 in the first period. Yeah, both had 5 shots on goal.
Is that on NBC Sportsnet?
It is. Yes, Lewis. Yep.
Okay, cool.
They switched over because the Lightning game was over, so now it's Vancouver and Montreal.
I wasn't aware of NBC Sportsnet. I thought I thought maybe you had I thought you were watching it through a package or something.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I wasn't sure.
I don't have. I have my package. I have has NFL, the Golf Network, NBA. I don't get the NHL Network.
I got my own ways, though.
Yeah.
Of course.
I can see any game I want. I'll explain it next week.
All right, gentlemen. Well, again, I'll go ahead and go through my sponsors here real quick to end the show. Again, if you guys want some In the Zone Sports Talk Radio gear, head over to squadlocker.com. Type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio to pick up your gear. Again, it's, guys, it's Under Armour gear. It's not, like I said, nothing cheaply made. I'm also sponsored, guys, by creating zenspaces.com, and it's the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. And remember, guys, Zen Spaces begins with you. Be kind to yourself and one another. Gentlemen, as I always, thank you guys for joining me on Thursday. Guys, I will be out of town next week, so I will not be here. So there will not be a Thursday show next week, guys. I will be in Disney, and I don't have the capability of carrying all my equipment with me to have a great show. I always try to have the best show for you guys. So there will not be a show next week. So we'll be back, guys, the first week in February.
Right.
We can talk about WrestleMania. We could talk about NASCAR coming up in a couple weeks with the Daytona 500 happening on the 14th. We could do Royal Rumble.
The Royal.
is having the Royal Rumble next weekend. We could talk about that. We could talk about, obviously, the Super Bowl matchup because it'll be that week.
Yeah, it should be a good one.
We can talk about that and everything else. But until then, guys, thank you guys again. Thanks to everyone out there who tuned in. Whether you were in here for a second or two, whatever, the three of us really appreciate it. It makes this fun. We have fun every week. We're just big goofs just sitting here talking sports for 2 hours. So it's awesome. I get to talk with these two guys every week.
It's on crack. Ugh.
Oh, there you go. Okay, we can do that. We can say that. That's fine. But before I go, I always like to say, I always thank the nurses, doctors, essential workers. You guys are the true heroes through COVID. As we're still going through COVID, you guys are the true heroes. Thank you for doing what you do. To the men and women of our armed services, both active, retired, and the ones who have left us, you guys are the true heroes. Thank you for doing what you do. We couldn't do this show every week if it wasn't for you guys laying down your lives and sacrificing your lives for us to be able to do this. And then, of course, also to our domestic soldiers, our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics. Thank you to you guys. You guys keep us safe domestically. With that, guys, I will see you gentlemen in a couple weeks on Thursday. Everyone stay safe. Wear your mask, guys. We got to slow this COVID stuff down, man. Start wearing your mask. Stay safe out there. But, guys, until a couple weeks from now, I'll say goodbye.
And
this has been the
if you're dying for more, don't forget to check out the YouTube channel.
I keep forgetting to mention
I know you do. I know you do, and I'm waiting for you to kind of finish off, but not quite wrap up. So if you're if you missed any of the show, or if you're waiting for more, if you're dying for more, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. That's the Sports Nerd by Bradley Walker on YouTube.
Yeah, check over there. All the shows will be over there in its entirety, including my Monday shows as well. I think our show from last week got 19 views on YouTube, so I was happy with that.
Nice, very nice.
So, get over there, guys, and support that. And guys, if you want to, please like and subscribe because that will help us out too. If you get over there, and we can build that brand too, moving forward. But until then, guys, everyone have a good, safe. We love all of you. Until next Thursday. This is the Sports Nerd Brad Walker. My co-host Adam and Lewis has left us already. But until then, peace.